Hey everyone, Retrovival here, and wow, I sure timed that Days Gone video painfully well. Every publisher and their granny has been trying their best to get a piece of the Fortnite, Warzone, and Overwatch pie for the past few years. We've seen successes in live service like the most recently released Marvel Rivals and last year's Helldivers. But we've also seen massive failures like Marvel's Avengers and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and that's just two of many. Both of those games came from big, existing, and beloved IPs, with Avengers arriving right on the heels of Endgame, and Suicide Squad following the legacy of the Arkham trilogy, and actually being developed by Rocksteady themselves and existing in the Arkham universe. Both of those games would see players turned away by the egregious microtransactions, repetitive bloat added to the story to keep you playing longer, and a lot more. They'd both go on to either shut down altogether in Marvel's Avengers case, or in the case of Kill the Justice League, end its seasonal content plan early and wrap the story up with a 2D cutscene. Both of these games could have made great standalone single player or co-op games without the live service elements. Games with a beginning, middle and end, regular unlockables and no weird tiered gear systems. I'm so sick of tiered gear systems. The worst case of live service so far? Well, that has been PlayStation's hero shooter Concord, which shut down after just 2 weeks. If you haven't watched my channel before, I make retrospective/review videos on games I either grew up with or just played over the past few years and loved. Specifically single player narrative games. Most recently I spoke about Days Gone, and how at launch it didn't click with me because of the bugs and other issues, but I finally gave it a chance last year and I absolutely loved it after all of the updates it received. I spoke about how I hoped that one day we might see a sequel to the game, and that how we'd have to wait because Ben Studios was actually currently working on some form of sci-fi live service game for Sony. Well, that was true. Yesterday it was announced that Ben Studios' game has been cancelled, and they will begin working on ideas for a new game. But they weren't the only victims of a game getting cancelled. The other victim was Bluepoint, the fantastic developers behind the Shadow of the Colossus remake and the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection, which was how I experienced all of those games for the first time, moving from 360 to PS4. They also developed the critically acclaimed remake of From Software's Demon's Souls for the launch of the PS5. What were they developing, you may ask? Well, they were making a God of War live service game. Now, I don't know what that would entail, if I'm being honest. Would we be unlocking tiers in a battle pass for skins for Kratos and Atreus? Or would we be unlocking emotes to see Zeus hit the griddy? Or I don't know. I really don't know. But the fact that this is what PlayStation had them working on is painful. Two incredibly talented developers have just lost years of hard work because of PlayStation's push for the live service market. And they're not the first. PlayStation now have about 8 cancelled live service projects that have been reported over the past few years. They had around 12 in development. A Twisted Metal game was apparently cancelled in 2024, along with London Studios' fantasy game and Deviation Games' planned game 2, and both of those studios were shut down by PlayStation in the process. Other games included Spider-Man the Great Web, The Last of Us Factions, and apparently a third-person Destiny looter shooter. And now we add both of these games to the list too. And an additional part of this is a few days later, I'm just editing the audio, a Horizon MMO has also apparently been cancelled now as well. So, yeah. PlayStation has such a rich history of fantastic story-driven and single-player titles. And to see the work of so many talented developers wasted, along with the livelihoods of the folks at London Studios and Deviation Games being affected too because of the decisions of higher-ups in the company, is incredibly sad. And it's really annoying as well. But where does Bluepoint and Bend go from here? I really hope both of these studios continue to go on and do bigger and better things. Bend Studios could always make a new IP, revisit something like Siphon Filter, port Uncharted Golden Abyss to PS5, or maybe, just maybe, make Days Gone 2. Bluepoint, PlayStation, you know damn well what those folks should be working on. Get Miyazaki on the phone and tell him it's time to hit the big Bloodborne button. PlayStation can still do live service games, but they need to be realistic and not put all their eggs in one microtransaction weaved basket. Single player games are important, and regular co-op and multiplayer games are important too. We care about these franchises, and the developers that make them. And it was why I was worried when the likes of Toys for Bob were purchased by Xbox, and even when Insomniac was picked up by PlayStation. Because I didn't know, maybe one day down the road they might decide, you know what, it's not working out, let's get rid of them. I don't know what PlayStation does from here, but I really hope they have seen the outcry from fans around the world. I really hope PlayStation can correct course from here and get back to what they do best, making amazing single player games. They can always take an odd trip into live service, but they shouldn't be making it their main focus. Let me know in the comment section below, guys, what you think. How do you feel about both of these games getting shut down? And what do you want to see both of these developers work on next? I'm really hoping for the best for everyone at Ben Studios and everyone at Bluepoint Games. They're both fantastic developers, and they deserve the world. So genuinely, just nothing but the best for both of them. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video where we will be talking about another great single player game. I'll see you next time. Bye.